What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Serie Addicts. Marco Romano with Tito Yang. First episode of 2026. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season. Felt pretty short, but we had some football to stay busy to watch. We got two match days, match day 18 and 19 of the Serie A to talk
Yeah,
about today's. A lot of football. We'll also sprinkle a little bit here and there around some of the top things going on in the market as well, given that we're in that part of the season. It's going to be interesting also to see what some teams are able to do for the second half of their season. But a lot of football to cover, starting with match day 18,
yep.
kicking things off with Milan playing against Cagliari, 1-0 victory for Milan. Rafael Leão scoring in the 50th minute. Pretty dominant performance by Milan on this one, on a Cagliari team who has had some good performances, played pretty well, had some shots on goal for this one, but couldn't get it done against Milan.
Yeah, dominant, but still just 1-0 against little old Cagliari. So not really like a fireworks show type of match from Milan in this one, just four shots on goal, but they got the win, they got the 3 points, which is what matters. So, you know, good
It
deal
was
to them in
very
the end.
interesting because this one, the first half, I would say that it was all Cagliari attacking. And then in the second half, Milan got a couple of opportunities. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is having that ball hit the back of the net. And in this occasion, Milan were able to get the goal and get the 3 points victory over Cagliari. Unfortunate again for Cagliari because they had an awesome first half. They just couldn't keep that same level throughout the entire 90 minutes. And Milan, like all good teams, yeeking out that result, getting the 3 points. Allegri and team coming victorious.
Yeah. Next match, Como
Next match we
Udinese.
had Como Udinese, another victory for Como, getting back in the win column. Lucas Dacunha scoring from the penalty spot in the 18th minute against the Udinese squad that is a very physical squad, but again struggling to gain some traction this year in the Serie A.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Udinese is just it's just an inconsistent results though. Like they will go lose 5-1 to Fiorentina and then they win the next match and then they draw any other match and then they lose another match. It's just a roller coaster. You never know which Udinese is going to turn up. And unfortunately for
And it
them,
was a very silly penalty on this one. The Como player with it back towards his goal. Udinese player, defender just grabs him by the arm. Como player goes down in the box. Good pen from Dacuña, throwing it straight down the middle like you typically do in FC
yeah.
to fool the goalkeeper and secure the 1-0 victory for Como. Not a flashy, typical kind of Como performance or win, but at the end of the day, Fabregas and squad get the job done and take the 3 points back home.
Yeah, nice hit against the crossbar for Duvac as also as well. Like close to the end of the match. Um, could have been 2-0. But at the end, Como get the win. That's what matters. Again, another win by the Duvicas, I wanted to say, sorry. Uh Another win by the slimmest of margins, but a win is a win and it keeps them, chasing Juve for that fourth spot.
And Como's a team that it will be interesting to see what they're able to do in the transfer market, right? That's one team that are right in the thick of things, right, for contention for a European spot for next year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on them, right? Fabregas always either has some good scouts or from his experience, especially in the Spanish leagues, always seems to get some youngsters on loan that are able to contribute immediately to the Como squad based on the style of play that they have. That is more kind of geared towards Spanish type of tiki taka football and possession football. So it's going to be interesting to see what Como can do. That's one of those teams that I'm definitely keeping an eye on to see what they're able to pull off in the transfer market.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I don't know that they're gonna be able to do a lot in terms of like a budget, but they might get somebody on loan that could help maybe.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe a youngster, another Spanish youngster, that is not getting enough playing time in their team in La Liga, but may be able to come in and make a difference in Como and help them gain one or two spots on the table and secure a European spot, which I would say would be an awesome achievement for a team like Como for this season for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Then we
So
had Sassuolo Parma 1-1 draw. Sassuolo, the better or one of the better team. Cremonese have been good coming up from Serie B this season. 1-1 draw. Pellegrino getting on the score sheet for Parma, and that's Thorsved. Always mess up that name. Scoring
yeah,
for Sassuolo on the 12th minute.
yeah.
So
Well,
not your
Sassuolo
usual
scored first, right?
scorers.
In this match,
Yep.
Sassuolo was leading first, and then Parma actually tied it up with a freaking rocket from like the edge of the box. That was Parma's the goal by Pellegrino was a beautiful
Mm.
left-footed curving shot that beat the keeper. About as good a goal as you'll see, like in a game like this. But in the end, wasn't. I mean, neither team could do enough to get the victory. Even though I think both teams, especially Parma, had a couple of like very good chances there towards the end of the match. It was a kind of an open match. It was a fun match to kind of watch with a lot of nice highlights that you could kind of take away from it. A lot of good passing from midfield. So very, very lucky for the keeper in a lot of these occasions when Parma was basically near the box with like a lot of shooting opportunities. So Sassuolo's goalkeeper, all props to him. He did a good job. Otherwise, Parma probably could have scored three. Oh,
And no Berardi on this one, right? Which makes it different, right? Their veteran
yeah.
and leader, Lariante, did play. They, other than that, right? It seemed like they had their full squad for this one. But like you said, great goal by Pellegrino.
Oof.
Typical number 9 finish. Even the outstretched keeper couldn't get to it. Had a couple of opportunities towards the end. So, um, but it was definitely a battle, and it showed in the score sheet, right, with the game ending 1-1. Doesn't do a whole lot for either team. They're kind of
Yeah.
around the same spot, like bottom, middle of the table. Sassuolo, sad for Sassuolo because they've been doing awesome. I would have probably favored them in this matchup, but I think it's fair for the game to end up in a 1-1 draw for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
Then we had Genoa Pisa, which interesting enough about Genoa ahead of their game today against Milan. A fun fact that I didn't know was that other than Inter, Genoa is the team with the most away goals this
Mm.
season in Serie A, which was a bit surprising, given that they haven't been having their best season this year, and that's being generous. So
Yeah.
it was a very interesting fact, and we'll talk a little bit about their results in the game that they played today.
Yeah. But
But certainly interesting with Genoa.
this game was at home though, right? For Genoa. Um,
Yeah,
so that
against Pisa, they did play at home, but today they played at the Giuseppe Meazza.
uh, they scored. I mean, Colombo scored a rocket with his left foot in this one as well. It was
Colombo, he probably has been playing or has been the most informed player for them lately.
did you see his goal in this game? It was like from just outside the box, like outside of the little slice of a circle.
The semicircle.
Yeah. And he's freaking
He's been playing awesome. That was another kind of
the
another
rocket.
rocket, kind of similar to Pellegrino, right on the to the
Yeah.
same side of the keeper.
Yeah.
At least the keeper in the Pellegrino shot tried to go for it and just couldn't reach it. This one, nothing but the keeper to do to just see it go past him into right next to the post. So it's definitely a great strike from Colombo against somebody that's really in form right now for Genoa and in the Serie A.
Yeah. And the goal for Pisa was a little bit weird, right? Because it was like a Pisa player hit their goalkeeper, and then the ball went over him, and then somebody just went in for the tapping. Um,
Yep, somebody chipped it. It was like a melee in the
yeah,
box. The keeper and a couple of players, and the ball fell very conveniently. Fell to the feet of Leris, who scored, who just chipped it over everybody that was in the box and scored a good goal for Pisa to get the tie and come away with 1 point.
yeah, it's crazy good save at the end there also on that header. Like he had to go down like Genoa's goalkeeper. Pisa almost had it at the end. So again, another
Which
fun
would have been
watch.
a good result for Pisa to take because Genoa, I think, under De Rossi, they've been playing a lot better. Definitely, at least a little bit more solid defensively and in the midfield. So it seems that they're inheriting some of that grit that De Rossi was known for when he played for Roma.
Yeah, they're always an interesting watch, and it makes for a difficult team to face, as we have seen in a couple of match days already.
Then we had Juve playing against Lecce, another 1-1 draw that seemed to be kind of the theme for
Yeah,
match day 18 in the Serie A.
yeah,
Uh,
that's true.
McKennie, for me, I've watched the last couple of games. McKennie, he doesn't seem to. He doesn't surprise me, but what surprises me is that he seems to be kind of the best player right now for Juve as far as like what he's producing when he's on the pitch.
Bro, so this was a weird game, right? Because like the first chance that Juve had was like Jonathan David off of a header, and he hit the keeper hit it with his foot. It hit the inside of the post, and it stayed out somehow miraculously. Uh, then Cambiaso had a shot that the keeper also
It's
saved
physics. It's
down to his
physics.
left. So it was basically Juve just destroying, like completely owning Lecce. And then Cambiaso makes the stupidest, dumbest, most ridiculous youth football type of pass across the face of the freaking box. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it was a pretty bad pass.
what are you doing, dude? And the Lecce
Great,
player,
great
like,
goal from Banda though. Yeah,
yeah, Banda just bounced on them. He didn't even think about it twice. He just hit a rocket. The Gregorio couldn't do anything. But that was completely against the run of play, for sure. Right. And then McKennie was fortunate because there was a Kenan Yildiz shot that took a deflection off a defender. McKennie was
but not
lucky enough
fortunate,
not
right?
to
He's
be.
he's in the right spot,
Yeah, but he was
right?
lucky
You
enough
would you
not to
would
be
think,
offside, is what I'm saying. Because sometimes in those
yeah, but he was in the
positions,
right spot.
you can get caught. McKennie has been the best, the most consistent and best player. Him and Kalulu, obviously, have been the two most consistent and best players for Juve. In this match, we had a lot of chances to score. And we also had a penalty
Including the
that was
pen. Yeah, you got
called
to talk
in
about
favor
that
of
pen.
Juve for that handball, which honestly,
It's
I
kind of
don't,
bullshit.
I don't feel that should have been a penalty because
No,
it hit the player first on a different part of his
it hit
body,
his leg
and then
and
it
then
hit
it
the
came
arm.
up and hit his arm. And the
Right,
most
like he,
ridiculous part about it is the Juve player had his arm in the same position as the defensive player.
yeah,
So
but it
it could have
doesn't.
easily hit the Juve player's arm.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
stupid.
could have doesn't matter, but I feel like there should have been at least some consideration to the fact that it didn't hit the arm straight. Like it hit another body part first, and that doesn't give you enough time to react to get your arm out. But I think the referee was basically saying he didn't have his arms tucked in or attached to the body. His arms are like flailing up, and that's
Yeah, but
why it probably
he's
gave it
def-
to him. That's how they
it was
call it
harsh. I
now.
felt it was harsh. I felt it
But
was
then,
harsh, but like it is in football, right? The football gods
yeah,
stepped in to correct the situation. Obviously, let's be honest, David had a lot to do with it as well. but it was a pretty weak attempt
All right, but
for
let me
the
give you
PK,
some context.
especially
Let me
because
give
he
you some
took the ball
background.
away
Hold
from
on.
Yildiz.
Let me give you some background on that penalty kick. So there's this little bitch of a reporter in Italy, and his name is Camillo De Michelis. And so he started this news flash about how supposedly the players in the Juventus locker room were ostracizing Jonathan David, and supposedly they wouldn't talk to him. They would basically have him in a. They put baby in a corner. They wouldn't talk to the guy, and like they wouldn't invite him to dinner. And so they made this whole this journalist, Camilo De Michelis, that little bitch, that little Ron Weasley looking bitch, made up this whole story. So now, so Juventus players started posting like pics on social media hanging out with David and shit, just to kind of show that that wasn't true. And then now in this match, David had a couple of chances to score. He didn't get lucky. And so I think the team kind of as a gesture, because he's not our penalty taker. That should have been taken by Locatelli or Yildiz, probably, right?
Ooh,
But
Locatelli, that was your go-to.
Locatelli is the guy that we made take the penalty when the fourth place was in line last season. I don't know if you remember that. So he's pretty reliable from there. But what I was gonna say is anybody, like there's a couple of players, like two or three, that could have taken that before Jonathan David.
Well, Yildiz had the ball
But
and he gave it
they wanted to give
to
him
David.
confidence. Like as a team, they wanted to just, hey, score this pen. And
I
then,
get that, right? And
you know,
that's what I thought.
they tried to do that, failed horribly, terribly. And we
I didn't know
lost three
anything about
points.
right the Camilo, whoever the fuck, right?
Camilo de
But
Michelis.
Camilo, I assure you that
He's a
Tito is your biggest
biatch.
fan. He's
Fuck
just
that guy.
he's just upset today. I'm sure he's quite
Man,
fond of you.
he's one of those Italian journalists that if they don't have anything to report, they'll just make up some shit. And they're always trying to invent
That happens in
gossip.
everything, but that's
And
sad.
and
Yeah.
and I don't think he can play at all. Like I don't think he's ever kicked a ball in his life, but he's always demanding shit out of players and being like, "Oh, I'm sick of this and I'm sick of that." And I'm like, bro, you should just be sick because you don't look like you have a healthy immune system. You skinny, whiny little. Okay, let's change the subject. I really don't like that
Yeah, because
guy.
this was becoming a roast real quick.
Yeah.
Um,
Fuck that guy,
Next
dude.
matchup, shame for Juve, right? Because they missed the opportunity to pick up two additional points, especially because the match after that we had Atalanta play against Roma,
Yeah.
which was a 1-0 victory for Atalanta, who have been playing
Yeah.
a
Oh,
lot better as of late. So props
Paladino's
to
boys.
Atalanta again. One of the most entertaining teams, right? Roma, I don't know what's going on. Still can't figure it out. Again, offensively, they're just not scoring goals. I
That's
think from
that's
a
why they're trying
market
to buy a
standpoint,
bunch of attackers.
that needs to be the number one priority for Roma and
They already got
Gasperini. They
Raspadori.
definitely help.
They already got Raspadori, and they're talking about a deal to bring Xerxes over on a loan.
Cherchi
That's
from Man City,
from United.
from United.
Yeah,
Oh,
Joshua Xerxes.
United players have been doing pretty well in the Serie, especially those playing in Napoli.
Yeah,
Uh, very happy for Scalvini. Right, great Italian defender and young talent. Has been dealing with a lot of injuries.
yeah,
Finally back on the pitch, gets his goal for the team. Definitely not only a big boost for them, uh, but also a big boost for the player himself, and just with so much stuff that he's been dealing with.
yep,
But just getting somebody like Salvini back and having him immediately make a difference for the squad is awesome. More shots from on goal or and not on target, but on goal from Atalanta, which was to be expected because we know that Roma, their real issue is offensively. I think defensively they've been very solid so far this season. But even with some of the great talent that they have up front, the likes of Dybala, right? Ferguson has been playing well, but still they're just not being effective offensively, especially against these types of teams, right? Where you would expect Roma to at least get 1 or 2 goals on Atalanta.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for like Wesley because you can see he's playing his heart out and he's getting in all the right positions, but
Same
just,
with Kone
you
as
know,
well. He's
he's
all
just
over
not
the
getting the
pitch.
help.
Kone's kind of like a McKennie for Roma. He does a little bit of everything. He's all over the place. Could have been worse. Atalanta had a couple of opportunities late. Scamacca could have easily scored. Um, Gasperini failing to get a victory against his former team. That's also probably a boost for Atalanta as well, right? Getting one back on Gasperini, even though we know they probably got a lot of respect for each other, given the 7 years that Gasperini spent at Atalanta and everything he achieved, including winning a European trophy for the club.
Yeah, I mean, Roma still got a healthy amount of points on Atalanta, despite this result. Like, so Atalanta's got some catching up to do. They're still 5 points behind Como, and Como has one less game that they played. So I think from that perspective, it's a real big race on 4, 5, and 6. And then from the 7th spot down, it's a not like a secondary type of race.
Right.
Currently, yeah, and Inter's running away with it.
No, it's a bit early, right? Definitely, it helps us play with a little bit less stress. Um, but it's only 1 or 2 matches, right? So not we're not getting too ahead of ourselves,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
especially when we have the defending champs, which is our next matchup playing against Lazio.
No,
Two
Napoli.
nothing victory for Napoli,
Yeah,
having Spinazzola score in the 13th minute, having Rapmani double up at the 32nd minute. Then we had a couple of red cards. Things got a little bit feisty for
yeah,
both teams on this one, which let's face it, that's kind of Napoli's mo under Conte, right? It's going to be interesting the next upcoming matchup against Inter because the last matchup was a bit crazy. Everything going on between Lautaro and Conte and everybody else on the pitch. But you
yeah.
like that. You like that from Napoli, from your champion, right? I don't think even with the amazing talent that they have, that Napoli is the best team on paper. I would still probably say Inter are better on paper, but they just got
Probably.
that champion mentality and doing it without Lukaku, doing it without Anguissa more than anything. So gotta give props to the defending champs.
Yeah, very stupid ejection for Matosic in his match. And also that's a good shot on goal towards the end by Guendouzi, but Mr. Guendouzi apparently going to Galatasaray or somewhere else.
What?
Yeah, he just been
That
sold.
would be a huge loss for Lazio. I feel that would be like equivalent to Milan losing Rabiot right now.
You know, he's actually on his way out already. I think that deal's done.
That's crazy. That's a terrific player. Sad to see him leave not only Lazio but Serie A.
Yeah,
Interesting. I don't know who Sarri and company may have in mind as a replacement,
I have no idea.
but they certainly don't have it in the roster right now. And for a player that's as fundamental and valuable to the team and the squad, that's a big loss for Lazio.
Yeah, they're gonna have to find somebody that's like physical to play in the midfield. Because I don't really see anybody that can really replace that guy in this team. Like you said, it's like he's like their Rabiot, except he's a little bit less technical than Rabiot and maybe more physical, but still a presence in the midfield for sure. He's
But
not.
still, a very
Uh,
solid
Actually, it's a
player, box to
Fenerbahce.
box player.
Fenerbahce, not Galatasaray. I knew he was
That's
going to
crazy.
Turkey, but
That's crazy.
Turkey, yeah.
That's
Yeah, he
crazy.
went to Fenerbahce.
Great box to box player. Great defensively. Great offensively. Obviously, I would put Rabiot a little bit on top, right, as far as the skill set and the skill level. But Guendouzi has
Nice.
been playing awesome for Lazio in the years that he has been with them. I would have expected him to kind of move on up. I feel like a move to Fenerbahce from Lazio is kind of like a meh. Yeah, you're going to a tournament where you're probably going to be able to contend for a
No, he's gonna be
title
playing in
more than
Europe.
you will, but
He's gonna be playing in Europe with Fenerbahce. He's not gonna be playing in Europe with Lazio. So from that perspective, he's probably getting Champions League football.
true. And I wish we had the kind of the hockey rule, right? I would have loved to see that Mazzocchi and not and
And just
Noslin
let him
go
fight
at
it
it.
out. Just let him fight it out. Yeah.
I don't think it was not. I'm not sure if it was Noslin on the other
Matisic.
side,
It's Matisic.
but yeah, it felt like it was gonna be like some UFC action there for a
Yeah.
few seconds.
Pretty
But
crazy.
like usually in football, right? A lot of fronting, a lot of grabbing, a lot of pulling, but no fisticuffs.
Yeah, I mean, because
No
that
fit.
gets you like a way that gets you a way harsher suspension, right? You don't want to be out for that many days. That's the thing.
The good again for the defending champs. They stay in the hunt for their back-to-back title.
Yeah.
And then we had a huge surprise this season in Serie A, which is crazy that I even
Bro,
have to say that, but it
in the
is
92nd,
Fiorentina.
in the 92nd,
Fiorentina beating Cremonese, recently promoted Cremonese 1-0. Like you said, it took 93 minutes. It was the 93rd minute that Moise Kean scored the goal for Fiorentina.
yeah, the goal was kind of crazy. The ball just like bounced on him. He's just standing there in front of the keeper, and the keeper made a save on a header. And then basically Ken was just like standing right in front of the keeper, and he was able to like knock that back in. It's kind of like one of those bounces in FC 26. Uh, but
And,
in the 92nd minute, it's crazy, bro.
and it was crazy because I believe he hadn't been in the game for that long, right? I can't remember exactly what minute he was subbed in, but he was subbed in fairly late for Fiorentina as well,
Yeah,
and is able to get the goal. Good to see Ken back on the score sheet. Even hey, listen, even if it's like a quick and easy tap in, that helps build confidence.
yep,
And honestly, selfishly enough, I'm not thinking about Fiorentina. Good for them that they got the 3 points, but I'm thinking about we need them for the Italian national team and these upcoming playoffs to qualify for the
yeah,
World Cup. So glad to see him get on the board. Maybe that's why he didn't do his traditional dance because it wasn't that good or great of a goal, but a goal that you could tell by the way he reacted that meant a lot, not only
yeah.
for him but
He
for
did the
the
Michael
team.
Jordan jump, like. So it was, yeah, it meant a lot for sure. And Fiorentina slowly but surely crawling out of the relegation zone. Only 3 points behind Genoa now, which you know, does bode a little better for them, like as far as staying in Serie A. They talking about making offers for other ex Juve players. So I don't
Mm.
know. That's
And listen, but you gotta give props also to Cremonese, right? Because
yeah.
they've been surprising everybody this season. And again,
Yep.
sucks for them, right? You're looking at a nil-nil draw against a team that are literally fighting for their lives right now. Everybody
Yeah.
on that squad seems to be. Another team that's going to be very interesting to see what the hell happens during the transfer market because they need to blow it up. And they do have a couple of pieces that can help other teams in the Serie A. So it's going to be interesting to see. But Cremonese, right, sucks for them. Thought they had the 1 point, right? They were going to walk away with a nil-nil draw. Instead, Moise King breaks from Cremonese hearts in the 93rd minutes to get
Yeah.
Fiorentina a
Crazy.
much needed 3 points.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was all pressure and just hustle at the end. Oh. So what else? What other matches do we have
We
left from
had
this
a
match day?
Hellas
Oh
playing against
yeah.
Torino.
Yeah.
This was
And
a
they got a hell
3-0
ass of a
victory
ass
for
kicking.
Torino.
Yeah.
Simeone, Casadei, and not sure if it's Nije or Nije, but goal from him.
Yeah.
Not familiar with that player. In the in the 91st minute. I had to be careful with with the pronunciation
I
there.
think it's
Na-
Naye.
Naya, there you go.
I think.
I'll go with that. The way that I was pronouncing it was too close to another word that I'm not gonna say here ever. But
Yeah.
great victory for Torino, right? Who again have been having kind of a roller coaster of a season. 3 goals on Hellas Verona, which have been struggling as well.
Yeah.
Kind of a beat down to your point, at least a little bit of domination, right, as far as the stat sheet goes for Torino's part. And good to see them get the 3 points. I was expecting a lot more from Torino, quite frankly, this season.
Yeah, but I mean, they're getting their stuff back together, right? Like they're in a much better position right now, like mid-table almost, than they were at the beginning. And you think about it, they're only 3 points behind Bologna, who we've been praising for most of the season. So all things, said and done, like, they do have 8 losses.
But Bologna got off to a very slow start as well.
Exactly. Yeah, and then they picked up Torino that got off to a horrible start. And then, slowly but surely they had to change managers. And, now they're starting to get their stuff back together. But again, like them, Udinese, are teams that you would have expected to do maybe a bit better, but they've been too inconsistent. But they both have more wins and draws than losses in terms of if you add them up. So I think it's still a net positive for those teams because you would expect them to just be mid-table teams in this type of contested Serie A. Like the first 5 spots, I think the only thing that's going to change there is basically the order. But I think those are going to be the teams. I mean, maybe I see Atalanta sneaking in there, but not even. I think they're already. Roma has 36 points, Atalanta 28. That's like an 8 point difference between those two. I don't think Atalanta are going to make that up. I think those first 5 are going to be the first 5, and then we're going to see what happens, like in terms of which order they finish up in.
And by the way, Naye, or how you pronounce it, I'll learn it for our next episode for sure.
Yeah,
Golazo from him to wrap things up for Torino off the crossbar. Great strike. Um, so definitely gonna first learn how to pronounce your name the right way. But hopefully Torino can keep this going. Process
yeah,
Simeone for not celebrating the goal, being respectful as well. But props to Torino for
yeah,
coming away with the 3 points against Hellas, who sucked
yeah.
ass on this match day 18 of the Serie A.
That was a
Then
crazy
to
good
wrap
shot
things
and
up, we have
acrobatic celebration, I was going to say.
that was a hell of a somersault as well. He probably
Yeah.
got like 3 feet off the
He
ground
got some he got some
on
elevation
that
on
flip.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then you
it
had
was
Inter.
impressive.
Yes.
Yeah,
Final
we had
match.
Inter to wrap up match day 18 playing against Bologna.
That
Like
was
we were
match of the
saying,
week.
Bologna got to a slow start. Right, we're playing a lot better, but Inter get back against Bologna. Bologna, right, knocked them out of the Super Copa and beating them in the semifinal with the most absurd display of penalty taking from a team that I've ever witnessed in my life of watching football, which was terrible. Solid performance by Inter. Zielinski, who has been playing awesome this season. Right, a little bit of controversy there. Right, he's been saying in some interviews that Inzaghi, which is a part true, Inzaghi had his kind of set 11 that he very rarely shifted from away from. That was one of the gripes with Fratesi as well. Although Fratesi, I think, has a little bit more to do with the fact that he's never figured out how to fit the system at Inter and be successful, other
Yeah.
than provide a spark here and there. But Zielinski has been playing like he used to back in Napoli when Napoli were pissed that he actually left the club and decided to sign with Inter. Has been playing awesome this season. I think that combo, Mkhitaryan getting hurt, was kind of a blessing in the fact that he's been getting more playing time and seeing him play next to Shalanoglu and having 2 players that are lethal from around the area. if you give him some space with the rockets of shots that both of them have and how accurate they can be. I think gives Inter kind of a different dimension. But him getting on the score sheet, we have El Toro, El Capitano, Eterno
But on that
get on the
goal,
score sheet as well.
on that Zielinski goal, how good was Thuram's back heel to Lautaro on that play? Because like that play doesn't even happen if he doesn't do that. He pulls the defender and then he freaking back heels to Lautaro, who then is running against four people and manages to just like sneak it out to Zelinski, who finds like a left footer rocket. But Thuram's like back heel on that play to pass it to Lautaro and just pull the center back, that was beautiful. That was
I mean,
good teamwork.
great back heel. My only issue is I feel that Turam is not 100% yet, and watching the entire game, there were a lot of other moments in the match where he tried to do similar things and just lost possession.
Yeah, you
Right
can
in
tell
this
by how he's
occasion,
running too.
he always had with something. I don't know why when he runs he has these like T-Rex arms.
Yeah, he
Just
runs kind
kind
of
of
weird.
awkward. Yeah,
Yeah,
but he's always been kind of awkward, right, like that. But he's been solid. But I feel he's not yet 100% since coming back. But he can give you that moment, right, that can make a difference. So this was a great back heel to Lautaro. Lautaro finding Zielinski
yeah,
for the first Inter goal. But he's just hasn't been consistent. He has been very lucky in the fact that he scored twice with from Dimarco corners, where literally just the ball hits him and goes goes into the goal.
yeah.
Um,
Then
that
Lautaro
helped
also
him.
missed a sitter like in the 50th, but great header, great header by Lautaro on the second goal, and then he had like a chance to get
Yeah,
the third
but
and
you watch Lautaro throughout the game and everything that he does, and for me,
top
him
level.
missing something like that, it's surprising because he doesn't do it often. It doesn't happen
Yeah,
often. But if he's gonna miss it, I don't mind him being in a game like this. But as far as the first one to put pressure on the ball, recovering possession, always sliding, dudes. It's like the 86th minute enters up 2-0, and the dude sliding trying to recover the ball, just pushing back just to be that point person to kind of spread the ball around in the midfield. He does that a lot. Kind of shifts to a number 10 role a
yeah.
lot of the times, and let's kind of Turan be float around Lautaro a little bit. It just helps the team out a lot in situations where they just can't break that line in the midfield.
Yeah, Lautaro's just been amazing the whole season. I think he's Inter's MVP right now. At least like in terms of resolving the games, right? There's a lot of players that put in a lot of work and like the midfielders do a lot of work and carry the team a lot. But I think Lautaro sometimes when it's like a tough match, he always comes up with something. Then he's showing like what was a captain supposed to do. Like he comes through when the game is tight, you know. So props to
And
him.
it's just his, like, again, it's contagious when you see your captain going all out, even in the 86 minutes when he's already on the board, when you're up 2-3-0. As anybody else in the squad, it's like, how are you not going to get motivated about that? So that's the type of leadership that we need, I think, a little bit more. I just wish he was a little bit more vocal on the pitch. Him and a couple of other players, I think Bastoni can do the same. Barella, honestly, it kind of pisses me off because he is vocal, but he's mainly complaining and crying about everything when somebody misses a pass
Yeah, he
or
complains a
something.
lot.
I think he needs to mature a little bit. Understand, dude, you're a world class
Yeah.
talent. You're one of the leaders in this squad, not only in this squad, but a pillar in the national team. Like, you need to take that next step. And I think if he starts communicating more, it will not only help make other players better, but it'll make his game a lot easier. So I think that's something that I want to see Barella kind of take that next step, because I think it's going to help him even get better, which is crazy because he's already an amazing talent.
Man, that was the
Good to
last
see Turan
match,
get on the
right?
score sheet, right? Even though it wasn't a kind of a crappy goal, but again, 3-1 victory against Bologna to get our get back. And with that, we wrap up match day 18 and moving into match day 19, kicking things off with Pisa against Como, which this was another kind of ass whooping
Yep.
on Como's behalf.
Big
We had
time.
Perrone score in the 68th minute, and then Dubicas double up in the 76th minute, and then in the 97th minute with a PK.
Seventh. Yep.
So Como again, I told you at the beginning of the season that I had him getting a European spot this season. They kind of worried me for a little bit. They kind of dropped their form for a little bit, but again, getting some results. Another convincing win from Fabregas and squad. Granted against Pisa, which you would expect Como to win, but another comfortable win for a solid team and a good team this season.
Yeah, I mean, we were just saying how Pisa can sometimes be tough, but like Como came in and basically dismantled them. Uh, they just got good possession play, and I think it's just the way they move the ball around. It's like hard for a lot of Italian teams to kind of defend that. Like we always say, it's like a Spanish team playing the Serie A. And they score a lot of goals in very similar fashion to a lot of those possession-based Spanish teams you see in La Liga.
Which is
Do
probably it, right? Because
Yeah,
what the thing with Como, at least when they played against Inter, you could tell that was a struggle, right? That they're used to having so much possession of the ball that
Mhm.
when the difference in quality is so much, they were struggling against Inter because as soon as a Como player got possession, you had three Inter players surround him
Yeah.
immediately.
If
So
if
against
they lose the midfield, they basically they can't win. That's Como's Achilles heel, right? If you beat them in the midfield, if you win those loose balls, if you dominate that part of the field, which is true about a lot of matches, right? If you dominate the midfield in a lot of games, you're gonna win the game. But with
yeah,
Como, it's particularly
no,
true
but I
because
get
of the
it,
way
right?
they play.
The
You know?
Yeah, the game is dictated by how their midfield plays.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Still,
again, the Fabregas kind of Spain style of football. Pisa did miss a pen, right? So they did have some opportunities to score.
yeah,
But Como, at the end of the day, was a little bit too much for little old Pisa, who walk away with another defeat. But good 3 points for Como for Fabregas and squad. Then we
yeah,
had Roma trying to rectify the ship against Lecce and doing so with a 2-0 victory,
yeah,
having Ferguson and Dovbik get on the score sheet. Ferguson on the 14th minute and Dovbik on the 71st minute. Again, another clean sheet for Roma, which proves that definitely the issues are not on in their defensive line. Certainly up front, finally get a couple of goals, walk away with a 2-0 victory and another clean sheet for still one of the Serie A contenders this season.
yeah. And it's looking like they're gonna get Raspadori and Cersei, like we said earlier. So I think that should revitalize their offense if they.
Raspadori is going to be interesting. Again, not exactly what they need because they need more of a number 9,
I
but
think Xerxes more like the what they need for sure.
yeah, yeah. But having Raspadori can play on both sides, very
Yeah,
dangerous, very
yeah,
skillful, can dribble, very fast, and a great finisher.
yeah,
Right, so that's definitely a good pickup for Roma, which is going to help. But it's going to be interesting to see Churchy if he can be that number 9 that they desperately need. Because Ferguson, even though he's played well the last couple of matches, he's not it for Roma
yeah.
if
No,
they want to be Serie A contenders.
not at all for sure.
And I do have to say that has to be one of the fucking ugliest kits that I've seen. That
Oh yeah,
Roma white kit.
yeah. What the
You're
hell?
talking about Guendouzi going to Fenerbahce. It looks like they are Fenerbahce with that just ugly ass kit. I don't
Yeah, it is
know
pretty horrible.
what it has to do with Roma. Just wanted to get that out there. I doubt that any Roma fans are going to the store to purchase that kit this season.
Yeah, no, that's just horrible.
Then we have coming back to Juve, playing against recently promoted Sassuolo.
Yeah,
3-0 victory for Juve. Muharemovic own goal in the 16th
yeah.
minute. Miretti goal, which was a very nice goal in the
That's a nice
62nd
goal.
minute.
Yeah,
And then Jonathan David taking advantage of a dumb defensive mistake on Sassuolo's part. You can't give players with the quality that Juventus has those types of opportunities and not
Yeah.
expect for them to make you pay,
It's a
which
great pass
Jonathan
by
David
Jonathan
did for sure.
David. It was a great pass by Jonathan David on Miretti's goal too. He made a really good pass. I think Miretti's inclusion in the lineup was a great move by Spalletti in this match. Obviously, you had the usual suspects who always play McKennie, Locatelli, Cambiaso, and Turam in the midfield. I think they're starting to find a little bit of consistency finally. Sassuolo can be a tough customer. I know they weren't having the greatest of the results in the last couple of matches, but they had been on a kind of a good run, as you mentioned initially in the episode. And you were really needed to bounce back from that stupid draw against Lecce because this was a run of matches where you felt that they could get 15 points and they've already thrown away two of them. Um, Very, very promising display by Miretti, honestly, playing that position. And then Jonathan David worked very hard and worked a lot for the team. And he was involved in a lot of the offensive plays, not only when he scored. Um, Great game by McKennie as
Miretti's
usual.
doing well, man. It's been like a renaissance for him. He's
Yeah,
just been reborn under Spalletti.
yeah,
Spalletti's giving him more time, which
yep.
I don't get, given how he's been looking when he's out on the pitch. I don't get why Tudor
Talented.
wasn't giving him
Yeah.
more of a chance.
But he was
Great
injured
finish.
too. He was injured like in the beginning. So he came back from an injury recently. Tudor gave him a
Great
couple
finish.
minutes in the
Great
beginning.
boost for Jonathan David as well. I got a little bit concerned as well when he was going around the keeper. I'm like, oh shit, like don't lose the ball. And he looked
Yeah,
like
me
kind of
too.
awkward as well.
Because
He
he
kind of
still
looked
looks
like
fat. He still looks
that's what
like
I was
he's
about to
fat.
say. He looks like Baggio, how Baggio always
Yeah,
looked in FC games, that he
yeah,
always looks fat.
yeah. He
That's
looks fat.
that's
I
what
don't know
David looked
why.
like.
Maybe it's just how he runs, but he always looks like he's overweight. He moves like a fat person. Like, like he moves like he's overweight. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me because he looks like he's a pretty good shape athlete, but it's just how he moves. He looks like he's heavy, you know. Uh, but still, if he gets into any kind of rhythm, he's a very good technical player. I think he's just been like in his head a little bit too much, and this is a very psychological game. Like sometimes, just thinking about the wrong thing a second before you kick the ball
Yeah.
can have you sending the ball to the third row of the stands.
Well,
So
we'll talk a little bit about that for one of the games that happened today, because that
yeah.
was
Oh
definitely.
yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if you
yeah, that's
saw that
true.
match, but it was
Yeah,
crazy in extra time, and that
that's
definitely
that's
happened to
true.
close out that match. But you're absolutely right, right? I've been saying as well that for me, the issue with Inter is just psychological and mental, since they got their ass whooped by PSG in the final of the Champions League. Uh, I'm hopeful that they're going to get over the hump. I think their next matchup against Napoli is going to be interesting. But for Jonathan David, good for him to get that goal, build some confidence,
Yeah.
and right for you and what you shared about your favorite reporter in the world
Hey,
earlier
fuck
in
Camilo de
this
Michelis, man. That guy sucks.
earlier here in the pod. Uh, Jonathan David, right, needed it. If it had any truth or whatever, I just know that he scored.
Man, this
That the
guy
players
lying.
came out to celebrate with him and looked very happy for him.
Yeah,
So I didn't see it there as far as the celebration and
exactly.
how he reacted and how the other players reacted.
Yeah.
But good for him, right? And listen, I hope that if the players don't want to go out to dinner with him, it's because, dude, you're eating half of the restaurant. Maybe what you need to do is get you a fucking personal chef and just stick to some vegetables and some lean cuisine so you can
And
get in
you know what
shape
they
and
said?
you can start producing.
Spalletti made a joke about them not inviting him to dinner because he's put Parmesan cheese on pasta with seafood,
Oh,
and you don't do that, you know?
on what on fish, right? Because he
Yeah,
was
like
putting Parmigiano on.
on vongole, on like shells.
I thought it was seafood that he was putting like
No,
Parmesan on
on like
seafood. He's like,
mussels.
oh
He's
no,
like
you
you
can take.
putting Parmesan cheese on mussels and stuff. You don't do that, bro. Like you don't
Yeah,
you don't.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. If you're Italian, you know that. Yeah, that's a no no.
There's no cheese on your fish. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. That's a freaking weird combo that we get it in Italy. That is something you do not do.
Right, they don't even. Yeah, exactly. No, no. But
We had
still, Camilo de Michel is just making up shit to create problems in the locker room. So
Hey, listen.
shut the
Well, you
fuck
know
up.
that there's a ton of reporters out there that are just looking for the attention grabber, right? The
Yeah,
clickbait.
clickbait.
Not necessarily a whole lot of facts behind whatever they're
Yeah,
reporting. Again, for me, I just have my eyes, and I could see after he scored the goal, his celebration, all the players celebrated with him. I didn't see any of that. If there is any drama, so
yeah,
good for him, good for Juve. I think also for Juve, since getting Bremer back, hopefully he can stay fit and healthy.
yeah. He makes a
But
big difference in
definitely
the back
their
line for sure.
defense is a lot solid. I think that helps with the build up as well.
Hmm.
So another shout
Definitely does.
out for Juve, which and another good result for the Bianconeri.
Yeah,
Then we had a Bologna playing Atalanta, another good matchup, right? Some teams that have been playing well, even though Bologna were just coming off a loss against Inter. Atalanta coming off a win against Roma. Good matchup on this one. Obviously, 2-0 victory for Atalanta. So, fortunately for Bologna, their bad streak as of late continues.
continues.
And
Yeah,
on the other hand, the good form for Atalanta also carries on from the last match day as well for this one.
yeah. And Kristovic had a pretty funky. I mean, like a good day. He's like 2 goals on the night for him. So nice match.
He's solid. He has a. I think if he could get they could get consistency from him. Skamaka has been playing a lot better as well, right? Obviously, you have
Yeah.
Lukman who's out in the Africa Cup of Nations, but once he's
Oh
back,
yeah.
right, he'll contribute like he usually does. But having some good replacements like that for Atalanta, uh, to your point, gets a brace against a solid defensive line in Bologna. So good for him. Definitely a confidence builder, not only for him but for the squad. Their second win in a row against legit uh, Serie A
Opposition.
teams, around one contender and one team that will be contending potentially for European spots.
Yeah, 100%. Solid win for Atalanta and a really, really good game for Kristovic here with the brace.
He's been kind of hot and cold, right? He got hot for a little bit for a while last season as well, and then kind of cooled off a little bit. So again, hopefully under the new coach who has been great, I think he's definitely turned things around since getting to Atalanta. Hopefully he also helps build that confidence in Kristovic, same as he's been doing with Skamaka, who has been playing awesome.
Yep.
Then the biggest surprise, I think, well, one of the surprises this match day 19th in the Serie A, we had defending champs Napoli drawing against Hellas Verona
Yeah,
after
what
they
was
just
that?
got
They
their
were
ass
losing.
whooped.
They were losing actually. They're like they went down by 2 and then they
Yep.
came back. Cool.
Which was obviously super unexpected and playing at home, no less, for this one.
Right.
You would the first goal, an amazing freaking back heel goal
Yeah.
for Verona, scored by Freze.
13.
Definitely the best goal of the match in this one. Very surprised to see the defending champs go down uh, 2-0 on this one. I think kind of a soft pen. I think it was a handball that was called, but it kind of looked like Bongiorno was falling back. That's why he had his arms like this in this position, and then the ball hit him. So I don't know, kind of dubious, kind of a soft pen in my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind
Nevertheless,
of weird.
Orban, who has been playing awesome this season, steps up and shows Jonathan David how you should
Yeah.
actually take the penalty. Jonathan David
Yeah.
and the entire Inter squad
Yeah.
apparently as well
But
could
that the
benefit
crazy thing is
from
Vanya
seeing that PK.
actually guessed it. Like so Milinkovic Savic went to the correct side on that one and he still scored. That's how well it
And
was taken.
Milinko Savic is a freaking mountain of
That's
a
a
human
big
being.
dude. He's a big
Yeah.
guy.
So
So
usually, if he guesses the right way, that's usually a save for him, unless you put it top bins. And it was such a good pen by Orban that Savage wasn't even close to it.
exactly.
Again, surprising. Then we had the reigning MVP of the Serie A, Scott McTominay,
McTominay.
step up to score the first goal in the 54th minute for Napoli to start kind of riding the ship for them. Hoyland, who has been playing well, surprisingly in this one, I don't think he played up to how he's been playing the last couple of
Yeah.
matches,
Even
and
though he had
more
that goal ruled out, like he actually scored in this one, he got it ruled out because he hit it with his arm a little bit before.
which we're seeing a lot of that the VAR era, right? We're seeing so many goals disallowed, so
Yeah.
many more penalties being called. Um, Again,
It's
the
expected.
impact on the game is evident. Actually, Verona had a couple of opportunities to get some more goals as well, especially at the end of the game. A good goal from Di Lorenzo as well, right? Some confidence booster for him because we don't have any better option for the Italian national team in the right
Yeah.
back position.
Yeah.
So good to see him playing well. But surprising results for the defending champ, especially against a struggling Hellas Verona team. Everybody would have probably put their money on Napoli to get a comfortable win on this one, but that's football. That's life.
Exactly.
Two draw, more points drop for Napoli, and now what are they in third position in the Serie A? Third position in the Serie A table. Granted,
Yeah.
right? They have Inter, Milan, and Napoli, which is crazy because they're the top three teams right now. Have one less match uh, than
That's right.
Juve and Roma, who are fourth and fifth. But Napoli have been losing some points. I think that'll change once Lukaku is back, once Anguissa is back. I think Anguissa probably is a little bit more of an impact than Lukaku. But I think that Napoli are gonna ride the ship and they're gonna be contending regardless for the title at the end of the season.
Do you think they're gonna beat
Then we
Inter this weekend?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, history says under Kibu, Inter still haven't beat like a legit contender and good team this season.
That's true.
So now is the time, right? I think the best win that they got in thus far was against Bologna. Especially, I like the fact that hey, they just knocked you out of the Supercopa, so it was important for them to get their get back and their revenge
Yeah.
against Bologna. Now it's going to see like, hey, is that kind of just mental block still there? Are they going to be able to get in the hump? Because you know the strategy that Napoli's going to have. They're going to play the mental game. They're going to be physical, right? They're going to take it to Inter. You know that Conte's going to be barking in the sideline and try to stir up whatever he can
Yep.
to give his team an advantage, which he did create in the past matchup. But I think Inter were playing a lot better than Napoli. They just
Yeah,
showed
he's talking to
their
Lautaro
weakness
like he can't get
mentally.
into his head.
Exactly. For me, that was one thing. The only thing I think this season that I would say like that Lautaro was wrong in doing, just getting heated and into that exchange with Conte that did not benefit him or the team in that moment, and you can't have that from your captain. But knowing Lautaro, I wouldn't be surprised if he is something that he just used to learn. This freaking game, I saw it. What I could see, because it was literally played in the middle of a fog the entire 90 minutes. At the beginning, I was more like, Jesus Christ, can the fans at Parma stop lighting shit on fire in their stadium? But then it never dissipated. It literally just stayed the same the entire match. And I was playing with like the settings on the TV, like especially because I recently got a new TV. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Like
Yeah, it was
this
crazy.
fucking
Like you can
this
basically
quality
see
is
nothing.
terrible.
Yeah.
It at some points, like depending on where the ball was in the pitch, you couldn't see jack shit.
Yeah.
The
At least it was
domination
orange.
from Inter on this one, from what I could see, Inter dominated. Again, in the first half, they kind of struggled to find that last pass for them to be able to score a goal. Ends up Dimarco ends up opening the score sheet with a great goal on his weak foot as well to close things off in the first half. Uh, Dimarco has been playing great, but hasn't been playing to the level that he did last season. And we need him because we still have Dumfries out on the right side, and Luis Enrique is not it. There's rumors that he may be going out on loan already, which you never want to see as a player after just joining a squad. Sucic played well, missed a sitter of a goal, but Sucic, I feel, it is a player that's going to be a solid addition for the squad for years and years to come. Bonny comes in, scores. Obviously, he used to be a Parma player, so he doesn't celebrate. That goal gets taken away because of a Marcus Thuram handball.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, just probably less than a minute after that, Thuram scores the second goal for
Yeah.
Inter to wrap things up,
Yeah, he scored it.
which,
He
which was a
scored
bit
it in the
ironic.
added time that they gave because they were checking Bonnie's goal. And then during that extra
Pretty much.
time that they gave, Turan scored another one.
But I think wrong strategy for Parma. Parma were trying to just hold on for dear life, and against a team like Inter, it's gonna be very hard to just defend the entire game with them
Yeah, that's how it
getting
worked.
any balls in the back of the net. Um, not Lautaro didn't get on the score sheet on this one, but he's been on fire lately. Good to see Dimarco get a goal. Good to see Turam get another goal because he hasn't been scoring a ton this season. We need to kind of build his confidence up. Good to have Bonny back because he was out injured. Pio Esposito, even though he didn't score, he started this match. I think he played well with Lautaro. I think he needs to get a little bit faster because he's big as hell. He's strong as hell. I think he just needs to get a little bit sharper, a little bit quicker. But he did hit the crossbar in this one. He did create the goal that Dimarco scored as well. So good performance for the youngster, but I'm not gonna hype him up like everybody's been doing. I want to give him time to develop. I know that under Kibu, who used to be his coach when he was in the Primavera squad, he's gonna kind of take him little by little and just kind of ramp him up to the player that he can potentially become. Hopefully for Inter and for the Italian national team. But solid victory from Inter on this one. Parma really didn't have a chance to do anything on this one. Market wise, again, we need somebody on the right side to replace Dumfries, who's been hurt. Enrique hasn't been it. Not sure who that person would be for me. I would love it if we could get a Chiesa or somebody like that, even though I know Kibu wants probably somebody more defensively. There's been talks about getting Nathan Ake from City, kind of in a similar deal and structure that they did for Akanji, who's definitely going to be staying at Inter. Inter are definitely gonna sign him longer term. Nathan Ake, if he does join Inter, I think it would be good. I'm just a little bit confused because I think Bisek has formed a pretty good partnership with Akanji. I think Bisek is good when he goes up front as well. He hit the crossbar during this last match against Parma as well. I would say that he's even more creative and probably better offensively from what I've seen thus far compared to Luis Enrique. Unfortunately, I made a joke on the one of the Inter's forums saying that I don't know how Inter managed to sign the only Brazilian winger who can't even dribble past the freaking cone, but sometimes they managed to do that. And I feel that Luis Enrique is capable of doing that and has the skills to do it. I just don't know why he's not getting it done on the pitch.
No, sometimes it's just a matter of fitting, right? Like some players are great in some teams, and then when they move, they're just, it's a different vibe, it's a different environment, it's a different way of playing, it's a different culture. I could give you a
So
couple
maybe
of
that's what he
examples,
needs. It kind of happened, ironically enough, for in the same position. Happened with Buchanan. Wasn't doing well at Inter. All of a sudden, he goes to Villarreal and starts playing awesome at Villarreal. He had a game where he scored, I think, like 4 or 5 goals for Villarreal. So it may be the case, right? Like you said, that it's just not a good fit. But unfortunate, after a player just joining a squad, going out on loan after 6 months, it's got to be rough for a player.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes sometimes it's better for them, and then they come back better for the experience. But we'll see. But other matches were that day. I think we
We
skipped
had
Lazio Fiorentina, right?
Udinese Sassuolo is Udinese Torino. Sorry, is the next one. Fiorentina came after. So 2-1 victory for Udinese, surprisingly on this one after the good performance from Torino in the previous match day. Goal from a couple of freaking blasts from the past here, right? Saniolo continuing his good form, staying injury free. Knock
Yeah,
on
it's
wood.
great.
That
Yeah,
continues, but getting back on the score sheet again, we had Ekelen Cap
you've been
scored
having a
in the
good
82nd
season.
minute,
It's pretty good.
and Casadei, another blast from the past,
Yeah,
right? Former Inter player, went to Chelsea very, very young. Didn't really pan out for him back in Serie A. Interesting prospect. Good to see him get on the score sheet for Torino, but unfortunately, Torino were not able to get it done against Udinese.
yeah. Tough matchup there. But again, two of the teams that have been inconsistent throughout the season, and they're facing each other. And again, Udinese this time showed up. Sometimes they don't, but this time playing away at Torino Stadium, they actually able to come up with a win. So props to these two teams, but they're stuck in the middle of the table with like 2 points separating them. And I don't think they're gonna go much further up if they continue this like inconsistency.
Well, Lazio, we were talking about Guendouzi leaving. It's going to be interesting to see who they replace him with,
Yeah,
because I may see Lazio potentially dropping a few positions if whoever they bring in to fill that spot is not up to par, because they haven't been having the best season either under Sari. Bologna kind of up and down. We thought they righted the ship, got a couple of good results, eliminated Inter from the Supercopa, and now coming off back of losses in the last two
Bologna.
match days. So,
Are you talking about
uh,
Fiorentina, or why are you talking about Bologna?
based on where they're at in the table, right? You have
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Udinese,
Yeah, no.
Lazio, and Bologna,
Yeah, I got you. Got you.
right?
I
So,
got
but
lost.
like you said, I don't see either team getting above that seventh, eighth spot,
Nah,
no
man.
matter
I
what.
don't. I don't think so. It's gonna be hard.
But surprising, right? Based on the last results of the last match day, I would have thought that Torino would have gotten the victory on this one, which we can segue to the other surprising result, which was Lazio Fiorentina
Oh
2-2
yeah,
draw on this
wasn't
one.
expecting that.
And Fiorentina getting some productions from some players that have been kind of dormant this season.
Gosens.
Gosens had
Wow.
an awesome season last year. Gets a goal in this one. Then we had Godminson, which again was 2 years ago talked about like one of the best strikers in the Serie A, and just kind of took a nosedive from there. I think he scored like two or three times this season for Fiorentina, but definitely Fiorentina expected a whole lot more from Godmanson when they signed him and brought him on board to the squad. But a good
Yeah.
result from Fiorentina, given everything that they've been through and how terrible they've been doing so far against Lazio, who are a solid team in the Serie A, even though they're still figuring things out under Sarri. Goal for Cataldi, who has been playing very well this season. Pedro, the fossil, getting on the score sheet from the penalty spot
Yeah, that's a really
in the
stupid
96th minute.
penalty that Fiorentina conceded there towards the end of the game. Like you,
And,
you're freaking winning, man. Like, why are you pulling that guy in the box? Like that's. I mean, Zattani
and,
pulled a great move, but like, why you got both of your arms
but
on top of the dude
and
like that, man?
he wasn't getting to that ball. If you
No,
look at that play,
exactly.
Sakani was not getting to that ball. That
I
was
don't
going to
think he
be
was
the keeper's ball
right.
all day, every day. So yeah, very dumb foul, especially in the VAR era. that you
Yeah,
know that even if the ref misses that, it's gonna get reviewed, it's gonna get called,
exactly. It's
and
ridiculous.
then Lazio brought on the fossil. Respectfully, Reco Pedro is an amazing talent in his peak, but still someone that you can count on to up to the penalty spot and confidently
No,
uh, put the ball in the back of the net.
hit it better than Jonathan David on that one.
Which is pretty much what he's doing at
Yeah,
his age, right? Pedro's that guy that they bring on board when on to the pitch when they need kind of a spark. I know it.
yeah.
Fucking hate him for what he did to Inter last season. He's the main reason we freaking lost the Scudetto last season, coming in and scoring twice against freaking Inter. Um, but good. He's kind of like a Bernardeschi, right? That type of player that
Hey,
is just going to
respect.
come off the bench every now and then and may give you a goal or may make a mistake that can cost you a goal,
Yeah, either way.
depending on what type of day they're having. Then we had the last two matches that actually took place today. We had
Exactly.
Cremonese Cagliari, which was another two draw. On this one, we had Johnson scoring in the fourth minute. Then we had Jamie Vardy, the
Vardy
hooligan,
continuing his run.
and veteran, uh, being productive in the Serie A. It was the player of the month last month in the Serie A, getting on the score sheet on this one. Unfortunately, Cagliari were able to turn things around on Cremonese. They had Adopo and Junior Trepi get
In
on
the
the score
88?
sheet in the 51st and 88th minute.
Yeah. Damn. Total
Game
finish.
dominated by Cagliari based on the stat sheet, but both teams created chances. It was a kind of a back and back game. Vardy's goal, kind of a mistake from the goalkeeper. It went underneath him, but still kind of a poacher's goal for Jamie Vardy, who has been playing well and hey, giving some productivity to Cremonese. Again, Cremonese is still surprising, getting some results. Granted, they didn't get the win, but they get the point against Cagliari as a newly promoted team. Again, they seem to be definitely on a good trajectory to stay in Serie A for the following season if they can keep this up for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they have they're looking good for saving themselves, honestly. If they keep playing this way for the second half of the season, I could see them, just below the mid table.
And maybe that's another team as well that they can bring on maybe another Bardi, right? Somebody that can add a little bit more, and maybe they can finish at a better spot. Definitely don't think they'll get to a point where they'll contend for any European spots or anything.
No.
But I think that probably for them coming into the season, staying in Serie A was the main objective. I think they're on again on the route to not only get that accomplished, but actually finish in a pretty decent spot in the table.
Yeah. I mean, but they gotta keep getting results against the smaller teams. Otherwise it's gonna be really hard because they're getting to a point where like everybody above them are teams that, you'd expect to be above them. And there's some teams below them that you would expect to be above them as well, such as Genoa, Fiorentina, and probably Parma as well. But we'll see. We'll see how the season ends up. It's gonna be a very, very interesting second half of the season for sure.
I think it's going to be three battles, right? I think it's going to
Yeah.
be kind of the battle up top, battle for the last couple of European spots, and then the battle for kind of the mid table, and then teams that just at the bottom, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I think top four, anybody could win it. I don't see Roma winning it, honestly. I think they're still missing like something in the attack, but I think
then
Inter,
let's see with
Napoli,
Raspadori and who else they
Milan,
bring.
and maybe Juve as a dark horse, if they get some consistency in the second half of the season, they could still be contenders. But it's gonna be very, very interesting second half for sure.
Nice. I still feel good about my choices at the beginning of the season. Let's see how things pan out. And
Yeah.
then we had a last match that took place today to wrap
Oh
up
yeah.
match day 19 in the Serie A. We had Milan playing against Genoa, which I called it out earlier, right? For me, looking ahead to this game, especially with Inter's victory yesterday. I thought for sure Milan are going to get the 3 points in this one, but then I learned that fun fact that Genoa has actually scored the most away goals aside from Inter this season, which was I
Yeah.
found very interesting, especially given where they're at in the table and that they haven't been doing well this season. They got their manager sacked earlier this season as well.
Yeah, sure.
Contested match. I gotta say, Pulisic, even though he didn't score in this one, and even though he tried to pull a Maradona hand of God goal, but VAR era, that shit's never gonna fly
Yeah.
nowadays. Pulisic, he's on fire. When you see him on the ball, creating chances, how quick he is in making decisions, how confident he is with the ball uh, on either foot. It's impressive to watch. It's something that I hope carries on to the World Cup because for damn sure the U.S. need Pulisic and their Captain America to be 110%. But he's been playing awesome. Kind of a crazy and weak goal at the end from an unexpected source, given that it was a header in Leão. But you know what they say: if you head the ball twice in the box, that's probably going to end up being a goal.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. Very unfortunate for Genoa and De Rossi because this was a battle, and honestly, it wasn't that interesting of a match until extra time, and then it was just like a circus, and the drama
Yeah, it was
ensued.
crazy, right?
Uh, First, right, one of the Milan players, I can't remember who it was, but it looks like a sniper shot him and he went down for a pen. It was not given. Then Genoa were actually given
Yeah.
a pen. And we were talking earlier, right, about being able to deal with that pressure,
Yeah, bro.
right?
Sancho kicked
In
the
this
3 points
situation,
to the crowd, bro.
he he did his best Roberto Baggio impersonation and sent the ball to probably like the 25th row
Yeah.
behind the
There's a
goal.
souvenir for a lucky fan.
After having the opportunity for Genoa to get a win at the San Siro Giuseppe Meazza in I don't know how many years. Again, it would have been great for De Rossi, who has been doing a great job since taking the helm at Genoa. But regardless, 1-1 draw against Milan, who have been playing well. Milan, who don't have any European football and can focus 100% in the Serie A. Good result for a struggling team, and definitely a surprise to wrap things up for match day 19.
Yeah. Yeah, yep. And then we got match day 20 coming up um this weekend, which is gonna have a couple of very interesting matchups, particularly the one that we already kind of mentioned, Inter Napoli at the close to the top of the table. Milan are going to Fiorentina playing away.
That's going to be
Fiorentina,
interesting because Fiorentina,
they have some fire in their
again, right?
belly, you know?
They've been struggling, but they're like a wounded animal. They're like fighting for their
Exactly.
lives. They still have some skill for players.
Yep.
So that's not going to be an easy one for Milan, especially coming off a draw against Genoa.
Yeah.
Definitely one to keep an eye on.
But a lot of fun games in this new in upcoming match day
Yeah,
because we're gonna
Como
have
Bologna
Como
should be
Bologna.
an interesting one as
Yeah.
well.
Atalanta
Right, Roma
Torino.
Sassuolo. If it weren't, they haven't been struggling the last couple of match days. I would
No,
say it would be
Atalanta
better.
Torino looks like it's gonna promise to be a good match because Torino got the win the last match. Atalanta got a win the last match, so they're both coming in from. Oh, actually, Udinese beat Torino in the last match, but so Torino's gotta get back to winning ways, and Atalanta has got a couple wins in a row now. Fiorentina, Milan again, like Inter, Napoli, and Juve, Cremonese, just because sometimes Juve has trouble putting away these kinds of teams. So we'll see what kind of Juve shows up to that one. At least it's at home, so they'll probably get the three. We'll
But we
see.
wrap things up looking at the table with Inter at the top, followed by Milan. Inter with 42 points, Milan with 39 points, Napoli with 38 points. Again, all three teams with still one game in hand. Then you have
Yeah,
Juve with 36 points and Roma with 36 points as well.
yeah,
And then keeping an eye out for Como, who do have 33 points. However, they do
And a
also
game in
have a
hand
game
too.
in hand as well,
Yeah.
right? After that, you have kind of a drop off to kind of the second tier, let's say, of the Serie A, but it's still a very tight race. Anybody's season at this point, at the top of the table.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Inter can continue their run. I think they're on 6 or 7 straight wins. I think if they can mentally get through this Napoli hurdle and stay healthy moving forward, I think it's gonna be hard for other teams to be as consistent as they need to be throughout the rest of the season to keep up with Inter.
Well, we'll see about that. I still think like Juve has an outside shot, and Napoli, if they're not gonna be, if they don't make it in
Not what I
Europe,
had him, bro. That's what I had at the beginning of the season. I had
I
Inter,
think that I think
Juve,
that being in Europe is gonna be
Napoli,
very
and Milan.
is a determining factor in this race. Is gonna be like whoever gets the farthest in the Champions League is gonna drop off first in the title race. That's my prediction.
Let's see, but interesting start to the new year for the Serie A. Again, very contended race at the top of the table. I'm Marco Romano with Tito Yang. We appreciate you guys joining us for another recap episode. We'll catch you on the next one. Feel free to subscribe, like, and comment, especially for Tito's favorite journalist, Camilo.
Don
If you do,
Michelis,
by any
fuck that guy.
chance, see this episode, you feel free to leave your response to Tito's remarks on today's episode
You
in the
suck,
comment
bro.
section. But we appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. For Marco and Tito, peace out. We'll see you on the next one.
Yes, sir.